Hi, hope all is well. So if you are watching this, this is video 3. This is video 3. This is not the first one. If you watch this one, you may be a little lost. This is 3, and we're coming out of the book of Judith. We're still reading out of the book of Judith. I'm not going to even do the review. I'm just going to jump into the reading, but you can go watch 1 and 2, and then that'll explain it. So coming out of the book of Judith, just setting the scene. Actually, no, I will review a little bit. So setting the scene, again, as a review, this is Achior, the Ammonite, talking to Holofernes, the general for Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar has set out this system of bowing to him, right? Or you die. And some of the nations aren't doing it. The Israelites are not, they're not. And so Holofernes is asking Achior, who are the Israelites. He just told them. So now we're jumping into this. And again, to let you know, Megan, what's the point of you reading this? So this piece, to tie it all together, if you are a Gentile, you want to listen to this, because remember, we've been talking about why it's important. And again, this theme is you will have to stand with Israel. You will have to divorce your nation, because your nation will turn against you. If for the most part, the nations in the past and in the future do stand against Israel. Okay, the nations that are Israelites' enemies, they stand against them, and ultimately they stand against God. So if you are a bloodline or a part of these nations, you will have to divorce your nation if you want to be a righteous, set apart Gentile. And you have to understand, and you have to start to prepare yourself that your nation or your people will turn against you. If you take that route, they will turn against you. Now, it's all for the glory of the Lord, but I did want to share that because I wanted to share, again, this theme of, what does it look like to be like a righteous Gentile and stand with Israel, and what are some biblical examples of that? So that's why we're doing this. So again, the theme of this is you have to be prepared for your nation to turn against you. Okay, so jumping into chapter 6, So chapter 6, so Achior has just told Holofernes this. And so what has happened is, oh my gosh, so he just told him the truth about who the Israelites are, the whole truth. So Holofernes, there's the Bible says, or the book of Judith says, there's murmuring amongst the tents, right? They're angry, basically. They're like, wait, whoa, what are you saying? Like, they're angry, they're talking amongst themselves. And so we're jumping into chapter 6. So it says, and when the disturbance was caused by what Achior just told him the truth about the Israelites, by the way. Okay, so and when the disturbance of the men that were around the council had ceased, Holofernes, the chief captain of the army of Assur, said to Achior and to all the children of Moab, before all the people of the foreigners, so this is all the Gentiles, the foreigners coming together. Okay, look. He says, and who are you, Achior, and the hirelings of Ephraim, that you have prophesied amongst us today, and have said that we should not make war with the race of Israel, because their God will defend them? And who is God but Nebuchadnezzar? He will send out his might and will destroy them from the face of the earth, and their God will not deliver them. But we, his servants, will strike them as one man. Pause. So Holofernes was pissed with Achior because all Achior was doing was telling him the truth. Okay, Achior is a Gentile who was telling all of them, the men that were about to make war. He just told them the truth. That's all he did, guys. If you read this, I'm telling you, all he did was step up and he said, "Hey, look, y'all don't know who the Israelites are. I'm going to tell you the truth about who these people are." That's all he did. But what he said that pissed off Holofernes was he made a claim that was basically like, if these people are following their God, you can't beat them. Like, you're not going to be able to beat them. And that was all it took for an arrogance for Holofernes to be kind of pissed off. And so the mere thought of these people called the Israelites beating like Nebuchadnezzar's army was enough to kind of send him into like this prideful rant, right? I'm just paraphrasing. This is what happened. So he's saying stuff like, so that's what he's saying to Achior, who are you? Like, who are you to basically tell me this? Like, who are you to tell me that whoever these Israelites are, who are you? Who are these Israelites and who is their God? Who's God but Nebuchadnezzar? And how dare you say that? I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what he said. So he said, he said he will send out his might and he will destroy them from the face of the earth. And he says, and their God will not deliver them, but we, his servants, will strike them as one man. They will not sustain the might of our horses. Verse 4, for with them we will burn them up. That's that destroyer spirit against the Israel. Oh my gosh. And Antichrist. So he's saying, for we will burn them up. Their mountains will be drunken with their blood. He's saying what he's going to do to the Israelites. Their plains will be filled with their dead bodies. Their footsteps will not stand before us, but they will surely perish, says King Nebuchadnezzar, Lord of all earth. For he, Nebuchadnezzar, has said, the words that I have spoken will not be in vain. But you, listen up. This is what stood out to me. If you are a Gentile who stands with Israel, this is what I'm talking about. Your own people will turn against you. They will turn against you. So you have to settle it now to get ready to divorce your people and stand with Israel and stand with the God of Israel. Listen, he says to him, but you, Achior, hireling of Ammon, who have spoken these words in the day of your iniquity. Now all Achior did was tell him the truth, but this is how he responds to him. You will see my face no longer from this day until I am avenged of the race of those that came out of Egypt. And then, listen, and then the sword of my army and the multitude of those who serve me will pass through your sides, and you will fall among their slain when I return. Then my servants will bring you back into the hill country and will set you in one of the cities of the ascents. He says, you will not perish until you are destroyed with them. And if you hope in your heart that you will not be taken, do not let your countenance fall. I have spoken it, and none of my words will fall to the ground. Do you know what he's saying? So first of all, there were a couple of points that stood out to me here. Point one was, it's starting in kind of like, what is this? Verse 5, where it's that Pharaoh spirit. Just stay with me. It's that Pharaoh spirit. Do you guys, it's that spirit. It's that spirit. Because we're going to see that again. We're going to see it again. It's that Pharaoh spirit. Do you guys remember when the Israelites came out of Egypt? Remember what Pharaoh said when Moses was like, yo, like, let my people go, like, da-da-da-da. Remember Pharaoh got angry. Do you guys remember? And in the end, Pharaoh said, go away from me and you will see my face. I think this is right before the plague of the firstborn, right before the death angel came. Okay. So Moses was like, look now, let these people go. Pharaoh was like, go away from me and you will see my face no more. Basically, I don't want to hear this. Go away from me and you will see my face no more. And Moses, remember, Moses says, yeah, you're right. I won't see your face anymore. But he knows it's because, they're going to be destroyed. But my point is, when I was reading this, that same thing, it's that Pharaoh Antichrist spirit. Holofernes says to Achior, he says the same thing. He says, so you, Achior, who spoke these words of iniquity, all Achior did was tell him the truth. Don't forget that point. Achior was a Gentile who told them he told them the truth. But they called the truth words of iniquity. Do you guys catching this? He's calling the truth about who the Israelites are words. He says it's words of iniquity. That's words of sin. That's the truth. All he did was tell the truth. But he says, you've spoken these days in your iniquity. He says, kind of like Pharaoh. Listen, he says, you will see my face no more until I have avenged the race of those that came out of Egypt. So he's saying you ain't going to, he said, basically what Pharaoh was saying, like, go away. Like, you ain't going to see my face no more until I do y'all. I'm about to do y'all in. The Israelites, I'm doing them in. And then he threatens them. He says, and then the sword of my army and the multitude of those that serve me will pass through your sides and you will fall amongst their slain when I return. And then he says, you will not perish until you are destroyed with them. What he's saying is, basically this is what he's saying. I'm gonna kill them Israelites, and I'm gonna kill you too. And don't think when you're there that, like, I'm not gonna succeed in this. When you're there and your consciousness is about to fall, this is what he's saying. I'm gonna kill them, and I'm gonna kill you too. Why am I hyping this? I will bring this back to the point. For my non-Israelite and my Gentile friends. Again, most Gentiles don't forget This is Achior was a remnant out of. You had the children of Moab and the children of Ammon. You had all the nations. Please read Judith. Most of the nations encamped around Israel to fight them. They eventually they joined with Nebuchadnezzar, out of fear, but they joined and they were going to fight. But you had one. So this isn't everybody. It's a remnant. You had one who just all he did, Achior, all he did was stand up and told the truth about that's all he did. And when he told the truth about who the Israelites are, because they asked, they said, who are these people? He said, let me step forward and tell y'all the truth about who these people are. All he did was tell the truth. And this is how they responded to him. They responded in anger. They responded by threatening him. And then I'm going to keep going because I'm going to run out of time. Let me keep going. So I'm going to go down to verse 14. So basically what happens is they threaten Achior and they basically tell him, we're done with you. And so they bind him up. This is Achior. They bind him up and they take him to the Israelites, right? Because basically he threatened him. He said, I'm going to bind you up and I'm going to take you to the Israelites. And when I kill them, I'm going to kill you too. That's what he's saying. So that's what he does. He binds up Achior. And some of the men in the army take Achior. Now, by this time, the Israelites see them coming. So they start like attacking from their hilltop. But so the people from Holofernes' army, they throw Achior down at the bottom of the hill, right? And then they bounce. So I'm just trying to paint this picture. Achior could have died. He told the truth. They got mad at him for telling them the truth. They bound him up. Then they took him to the Israelites. Now, thankfully, the Israelites didn't kill him, but they could have. Then they threw him at the bottom of the hill of the Israelites. Then they left after making all these threats. Okay, so then I'm going to just read it. So verse 14 says what happens. It says, but the sons of Israel descended from their city. So once all this played out, they came down. They descended from their city and they came to him, meaning Achior, because he's bound up at the bottom of the mountain, being tossed to the side. So they see this. So the sons of Israel descended from their city, came to him, untied him, and led him away into Bethulia and presented him to the rulers of their city. So long story short, they went and got him and brought him into their city, untied him, and presented him before the elders. And so I'm going to stop there. And then we'll pick it up on the next one. But I'm going to stop there with the reading and then we'll pick it up on the next one. But listen to me. For the Gentiles, this is important. I don't want you to miss the point of me reading this part right here. And I don't even want the Israelites to miss the point. It's a remnant. Achior was one man out of the armies. One. My next series is the narrow way and the remnant. Because we have to start talking about it's only a remnant. Most of them, they wanted to destroy. They came against the God of Israel, the Israelites, and they came against any of the Gentiles that stood or even told the truth about the Israelites. And please hear me, that has not changed today. And so again, to tie this piece together, if you are a Gentile and that never changed. So you do have to start preparing yourself to understand that if you stand with the Israelites of the Bible, your own people gonna come against you. That's what happened here. All that man did was tell the truth. And in the army of Nebuchadnezzar, Holofernes, the Moabites, and even probably some of his own people, the Ammonites, they turned against him. And then said, when I kill them, meaning the Israelites, I'm going to kill you too. That spirit follows. I'll tie it to our modern time. You can think about abolitionists. If you're in the United States, you can think about abolitionists. That's a spirit in the Gentiles, the other nations that never died. If you think about Jim Crow, if you think about the abolitionists, I'm gonna run out of time. But the white folks that maybe stood with some black people, some of them died too. Not a lot, because most didn't. But I'm just trying to say that spirit never died. So I'm gonna run out of time. I'm gonna end it here. But you can find this in the book of Judith, chapter 6. And the next video will just continue on with reading. Okay, bye.